Here's something I want you to think about for a second. Right now at this exact moment there is a computer system somewhere in Russia that is watching for incoming nuclear missiles. It has been watching since the Cold War. And if it decides, on its own, that civilization has been destroyed above it, it will launch. Automatically. Without asking anyone. Without waiting for a human being to say yes. That system is called perimeter. The West calls it dead hand. And the terrifying part isn't that it exists. The terrifying part is that it exists, it's documented, it's sitting in the public record and almost nobody is talking about it. That's kind of the theme of today's video. Because every single thing I'm going to show you today sits on a very specific line. The line between this is a crazy theory and this is a thing that actually happened and the government confirmed it. We're not doing lizard people today. We're not doing flat earth. None of that. What we're doing is looking at three things that started as conspiracy theories, things that people were mocked for believing and then slowly, quietly, became documented history. Or are very close to it. Or are documented history right now and you just didn't know it yet. 3 theories. All of them real. All of them should keep you up at night. Let's start. Theory 1: the fake people in your feed. Let me tell you about a program called Operation Earnest Voice. And I want you to hear this clearly, because this is not a theory. This is not something someone whispered on a message board. This was reported on by The Guardian newspaper in 2011 using documents obtained directly from U.S. Central Command. The program was real. The documents were real. Here is what Operation Earnest Voice was. It was a software system developed by the United States military. What it allowed was for a single military operator to manage simultaneously up to 10 fake online identities. 10 sock puppet accounts. 10 fake human beings, all run by one real person, all pushing the same narrative, all making it look like organic public opinion. 10 fake people. One real operator. Full-time, government-funded, military-grade fake grassroots. Now, the military's official position, and they were very clear about this, was that Operation Earnest Voice was only ever used overseas. Iraq. Afghanistan. Counter-extremism messaging in foreign theaters. Never used on Americans. Strictly international. They said this emphatically. And I want to be fair to that position, because it might be true. But I also want you to think about something. The technology doesn't know what country you're in. The software doesn't check your passport before it decides what narrative to push at you. And the idea that a government would develop a powerful influence operation system and then voluntarily, out of institutional restraint, choose to never point it at their own population. I mean, does that sound like any government you've ever heard of? Because here is the documented historical record of governments choosing not to use powerful tools on their own citizens, yet. That list is short. Now, let's talk about what that program looks like today. Because in 2011, one military operator running 10 fake identities manually, that was genuinely impressive. That required effort. That required real coordination. That was, by the standards of 2011 internet technology, remarkable. But that was 2011. We are now in 2026. And between 2011 and right now, something happened that changed pretty much everything about what a program like Operation Earnest Voice is capable of. We got AI. We have large language models that can generate endless, convincing, human-sounding text in fractions of a second. We have AI-generated profile pictures, photorealistic faces that don't belong to any human being who has ever existed, that you genuinely cannot tell apart from a real photograph. We have systems that can monitor trending topics on every major platform in real time and deploy targeted, on-message responses within minutes. So let me ask you something. If one military operator with 2011 technology could run 10 sock puppets, what can that same program do today with a modern AI system behind it? We're not talking about 10 fake accounts anymore. We're talking about thousands. Potentially tens of thousands. Accounts spread across Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, TikTok, every platform, every comment section, every trending conversation, all coordinated, all on message, all looking exactly like real people who just really care about very specific political ideas. And here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. You have no way to tell. Now I want to be clear, because this is where the documented history ends and the theory begins. We don't have proof that Operation Earnest Voice was ever turned inward at American audiences. The program was officially for overseas use, and for all we know, it stayed that way. But here's what we do know. We know the FBI was communicating directly with Twitter about content moderation decisions. That came out in the Twitter files in 2022. Real documents. Real emails. Real conversations between federal agents and platform executives about what content should and shouldn't be visible. We know Facebook has acknowledged adjusting its algorithm in response to government pressure. We know from the Senate Intelligence Committee that foreign governments Russia, China, Iran have used networks of fake accounts to manipulate American social media discourse at scale. That is a finding of the United States Senate. So we know the technology exists. We know the government used it abroad. We know the government had back-channel relationships with the platforms. We know foreign adversaries did exactly what Operation Earnest Voice was designed to do but aimed at us. The only piece we don't have confirmed is whether an American version was ever pointed at an American audience. I'm not going to claim I know for certain that it has been. But I've been doing this long enough to know that when the government builds a powerful tool and says don't worry, we're never going to use it on you, that's the moment you start asking questions. Now let's go one level deeper. Because Operation Earnest Voice is about fake accounts. Fake people. But what I really want to talk about is what happens to the real accounts. Your accounts. This is called the phantom social media purge. And this is, I think, more disturbing. Because it's not about fake accounts pushing fake narratives. It's about what quietly happens to the real ones. Every major platform, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, has publicly acknowledged that they use algorithms to decide what you see. They don't show you content in chronological order from the people you follow. They decide what surfaces. They decide what disappears. That's not a theory. Every single one of these companies has admitted this openly. But here's the thing they've also admitted to. They suppress certain content. Different platforms call it different things. Shadow banning. Reduced distribution. Downranking. Friction. But what all of those terms mean in plain English is this: your content is still technically on the platform. If someone searches for you directly, they can find it. But the algorithm has been told to stop showing it to anyone organically. You're not banned. You're not deleted. You just become invisible. And the key part, the part that makes this specific, is that you are never told it's happening. No notification. No warning. No appeal process. You just slowly stop reaching anyone, and you have no idea why. I've been on YouTube for almost a decade. And I am not going to make accusations I can't prove. But there have been stretches of my career on this platform where no matter what I did, no matter how much work I put in, nothing reached the algorithm. Everything just stopped. Like a door quietly closing. I was never told why. I still don't know why. But here's what the phantom social media purge theory actually says. And it goes beyond individual accounts. It says that this system isn't just occasionally filtering individual posts here and there. It is actively and deliberately constructing what you believe reality looks like. Think about that. Two people. Same city. Same country. Same platforms. Following the same accounts. But one of them is seeing a world where a specific political event is the biggest story of the year, and the other has literally never encountered it. Not because they chose different sources. Not because of the media bubble problem we always talk about. But because the algorithm, deliberately and invisibly, showed them two completely different realities. And neither of them knows the other version exists, because you have no way to see what you're not being shown. That is literally the whole point. Censorship you can see creates outrage. People fight back. They march. They share what they're not supposed to share. Censorship you can't see creates compliance. If someone publicly burned books in the town square, people would be furious. But if the books are still on the shelf, technically accessible, and the algorithm quietly ensures that no one ever finds them, most people will never even know to be angry. They'll just assume the book wasn't very popular. And now think about who controls these systems. A small number of extraordinarily powerful private companies whose leadership has direct, documented relationships with government agencies, intelligence communities, and political actors. We established that the FBI was talking to Twitter. We established that Facebook adjusted its algorithm in response to government pressure. None of that is speculation. So the question the phantom social media purge is really asking is this. At what point does a curated feed stop being a convenience feature and start being a managed reality? You are not seeing the internet. You are seeing the internet that someone else specifically built for you. And the version they built for the person sitting right next to you might be an entirely different world.